Winning, an elusive prize only a few people can achieve no matter how hard you work or how little. Everyone wants a taste in victory in some way or form. To some, it's getting their dream job or having enough money to buy something. But unfortunately, winning is exclusive. Even in a day and age like the year 2025, it's hard to even get by with skyrocketing prices and inflation and social media ruining our lives. What I'm trying to say is that life nowadays is harder than even 20 years ago. Even though something as simple as driving can be a hassle with idiotic drivers who shouldn't even have their license that are driving on the road. When looking at those drivers, you should start considering to pay attention to professional drivers who do the jobs themselves.
Oh, there's contact. Get out of you now. Stewart into the middle of the pack and over.
Racing is a perfect example of winning, as almost every week professional drivers go to compete for victory, but in NASCAR, it is one of the only racing series to race stock cars, which is basically like if you bought a car from a dealership and just started racing in it, unlike F1 or IndyCar that race open wheel cars. Anyway, in the 3,000 plus drivers that have raced on the top level of NASCAR, only about 204 drivers have ever won, and an even lower 32 champions in its history. That means only 14.7% of all-time NASCAR Cup Series drivers have ever won a race. Like I said, winning is an exclusive prize, but what if I told you about one of the most underdog stories in NASCAR's modern era? A race that had wrecks, trauma, and the most unexpected winner, and it all dates back to only a year ago. And that brings us to today, the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona, the penultimate race before the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. For drivers that have already locked in, this race was going to be a cakewalk. But for those who are on the bubble and how anyone could win and get themselves into the playoffs, the battle for the win all night was going to be brutal, which was proven in stage 1, as half the starting grid in the top 10 were drivers who were either on the bubble or were in a must-win situation. As the green flag waved, it was clear everyone wanted to win. As only on lap 2, drivers already tried starting a third lane, and by lap 6, row 3 got to the front of the pack, and from there it stayed the same the whole stage. As an underdog and contender for the win, Josh Berry won stage 1 of 3. And once stage 2 starts, it was calamity from the start, as just during pacing and going through pit stops, Denny Hamlin committed arson on the Coca-Cola 99 of Daniel Suarez, which ended his day, as he looked like a fireball on track. But he was already locked into the playoffs with the win at Atlanta a while back, so it didn't really hurt Suarez in the points. But it didn't take long in the stage for chaos to start again, as the big one struck on the backstretch. This was a massive wreck, as not only did playoff drivers get involved, but also non-playoff drivers as well. And it all started from NASCAR's greatest pusher, Corey LaJoie, to hit the 10 of Noah Gragson in the wrong spot and causing him to spin and have a chain reaction. As for the rest of stage 2, it wasn't all flowers and rainbows, as drivers were constantly getting out of line and everyone waiting for another wreck. But surprisingly, the caution did come out with 15 to go because of a blown engine for SVG and a tire blowout for Eric Jones, ending both of their days. By this point in the race, 30% of the cars in the field were either wrecked or had some damage on their car. But the race still continued with 7 laps to go this time, and it looks like Joey Logano and the Fords were going to be the ones to beat. Majority of the top 20 in stage 2 were Fords, and as the third and final stage of the race started, it showed, with the top 3 most of the time being all Fords. By the end of the race, drivers were getting impatient. All that they could see is victory. This started with 42 laps to go in the race, as Justin Haley in a Rick Ware racing car would do a risky block to take the lead, which even had Michael Jordan impressed. But the race isn't over until the checkered flag, but on lap 23 is when the chaos was starting.
Whoa, here we go. John Hunter Nemechek goes for a wild ride, trying to get down to that low side.
This was how the chaos will all start, as drivers would go down to pit road for the final time tonight. By this point, everyone made it clear. It was a dogfight for the win. Teammates didn't care anymore, no lifting for each other at all, and blocks that got riskier and riskier over time, until luck doesn't go your way, and as the pack goes into turn 1 with 9 laps to go, driver of the 34, Michael McDowell, proves why blocks don't always work at Daytona.
Oh, they got together at 3. Whoa! McDowell goes up high. Larson is in it. Reddick's in it. Logano, Wallace, Haley. That all started in turn 3. Kendrick tried to lift.
And like with the snap of a finger, it was broken. Almost 10 plus cars were collected, and with the second big win of the night happened, it reminded fans why this track is called the World Center of Racing. And as they go back green with 3 laps to go, Daytona would show no mercy to the field once again. Just like stage 1, Josh Berry would charge ahead and was looking to win his way into the playoffs. But alongside him was a pretty unique top 10 with Austin Cindric in second, the 2022 Daytona 500 winner. Kyle Busch, who is in his first win this season and is looking to save his playoffs by winning today. William Byron and Christopher Bell, who have multi-wins in the season and don't need to worry at all. And I'm pretty sure you get it now. Everyone, no matter what manufacturer, team, or driver could win this race. They could have kept it clean, but they didn't want to give up the win. They've exploded, dumped, wrecked, and shattered. All that they see themselves is in victory lane, but aggressiveness and Daytona just don't go well together.
Whoa! Berry's gone, and he goes up and over! Huge hit for Josh Berry.
For the third time today, the big one has happened, as a scary flip down the back straightaway for Berry, which is very reminiscent of his teammate just a year ago, in the same place, race, and car. But once again, drivers didn't care anymore. As coming to the final restart of the race, 50% of the drivers were out, and the drivers were more hungry for the win. And no one more hungry to win was the driver starting first on the restart, who also caused the wreck a few laps ago, Kyle Busch, who was one of the best drivers in NASCAR history, coming off his first winless season and trying to make the playoffs. That moment, KFB fans were getting ready to win, but a young little driver rushed to Cup was starting next to him, Harrison Burton. Harrison, now in his third year in Cup, is son of NASCAR Hall of Famer Jeff Burton, who funny enough was commentating in the booth at the same time. And even though Harrison has gone worse in Cup every year and was getting replaced in 2025, he wanted to prove something and prove the haters wrong that he could win. And as the green flag flew, he knew what he had to do. Enjoy.
Competition, Kyle Busch. We go into overtime, presented by Credit One Bank. Let's go! He has not won since 2023 and is desperate for a win. He's coming off one of his best results of the season, being at the front of this field. 1 to go here in Daytona.
Nemechek made it 3 wide in that second lane, that second line, and that has killed the momentum.
2008, the last time he won here at Daytona, and now he is tantalizingly close to that victory. But here comes Harrison Burton for the Wood Brothers. He's being pushed by Parker Retzlaff, and the 23-year-old from Huntersville, North Carolina, is at the front of this field and may race his way into the playoffs. Busch goes low. Burton blocks. He gets back up. Comes to the line. Jim, your little boy has done it. Harrison Burton wins in Daytona and does what his uncle and dad did.
And like that, it all came to an end at Daytona that night. One of the most underdog performances in NASCAR as he won at Daytona. Over the offseason, there's been a lot of chatter in the garage about new playoff implications which can reward drivers that are actually good that make the playoffs. Even though I agree, it's still awesome to see an underdog win and make the playoffs even if he did get eliminated in the first round. But no matter what, Daytona will always be amazing, which is why I can't wait for the 500 this weekend on Sunday. But who knows, maybe we'll see another underdog winner. We just have to wait and see. Thank you for watching. Bye.